Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the Suburban Driving with Miranda. This week I am in a GMC. It might look a lot like the Trailblazer, but this is the 2020 GMC Terrain Elevation, and trust me, it's different. Let's check it out. Here I am in the 2020 GMC Terrain Elevation. It's just a specific trim level for it. Doesn't really do anything other than a couple of interior bits and pieces. Let me start with the price on this. It starts around the $38,000 mark. As you see it here, as you will see in the exterior, the interior bits and pieces, this sits at around the $45,000 mark. So that is quite a bit more expensive than the Trailblazer that I had last week. And truth be told, it's essentially the same platform. So you're looking at the same interior space, same amenities. This has a larger engine. It has a 2-liter turbocharged, which gives it 252 horsepower and 260 pound-foot of torque. Again, my lovely editor will make sure that I get those numbers right. There's a lot kicking around up here and I don't always get the numbers right, and I apologize for that. But as you can see, I'm actually driving while I do this, so I can't really look at numbers whilst I drive, and it relies heavily on memory. Just don't have it these days. Gonna apologize for that. Anyways, 9-speed transmission. This drives very much like the Trailblazer that I had last week. I find it a lot heavier. It just feels bigger on the road. A little bit slower in the uptake, a little bit slower in the passing. The transmission seems slightly more jerky. I don't really know why, because it's the same 9-speed. Might just be the way it's mapped. I don't know. Because this is GMC, this is like the luxury end of their brand. Chevy. This is supposed to be a little bit more upscale than the Chevy version of this crossover. And it is, truthfully. I mean, I have leatherette seats. My interior has these nice little faux wood inserts. I have a bit more, softer touch dash, a little bit more padding here and there. But I have the same screen, I have all the same amenities, I've got the same steering wheel essentially, with all my buttons and stuff here. I've got my digital gauge cluster in the middle, I've got the moonroof that goes to the back. So I have everything that I had in my Trailblazer. I'm just paying a lot more for it because it's a GMC badge. I don't know that I would pay more for this vehicle. And in terms of driving, I mean, I know this is supposed to be the drive section of the video. There's really not a lot to talk about in terms of the drive. Having it all week, having my son in it, going back and forth for school runs, it did extremely well. It was comfortable for both of us. We fit everything in the car. There was no lamenting space in the back or the trunk. From karate to school and home again, groceries, whatever I had to do, it did the job. In terms of front space, room, I have plenty. Again, I'm not the largest person in the world, so really any car is comfortable for me, even a micro. But this, the visibility is good. In terms of driving, I don't feel like I have huge blind spots, even though, again, these A-pillars are quite large. I have very good visibility in terms of where I can place my seat. I have all of the 8-way, 12, 16-way, whatever it is, adjustable here on the side, so I can go up, down, front, back, support my lumbar, all that fun stuff if I really want to, which means that I can really adjust the seat for my own visibility. There's also these kind of really, I'm gonna say useless, but kind of cool windows in the back. From the outside of the vehicle, it looks like it's just the design element that connects the black roof to the colored body. And you see this on a lot of cars now, so it kind of creates this floating roof line. And I've never seen it before, and it wasn't in the Trailblazer. The back, those little black sections are actually windows. So they don't do anything for me. They don't change my visibility or help me with a blind spot, but I immediately thought, like, if you carry your dog in the back in the cargo bay, they get their own little window. And I think that's kind of cool. Now, what do I hate about driving this vehicle? And again, I know I use hate and it's a strong word, but oh my God, I loathe it so much, is the drive select. So there's no shifter in this vehicle at all. You get buttons. And I've said this before, mostly in Buicks they have it, and Lincolns, I believe, they have buttons where you can select park, drive, reverse, neutral, sport, whatever. There's no shifter. So here I have my park, my reverse, my neutral, my drive, and low for towing. So park is a push button, reverse and drive are toggles, and neutral is a button. I don't know why, but it just irks me every single time I get in. And honestly, it's really efficient. I mean, you're pushing a button, you don't have to worry about the shifter, but like, it's something as silly as I have nowhere to rest my hand when I'm driving. Like, I put my water bottle here so that I actually have somewhere to put my arm. And it sounds really silly, but it's all part of the comfort of driving and that learning curve that you come upon when you get into a vehicle like this and you realize you're using buttons and not a shifter, and how accustomed you come to using a shifter while you're driving. And something as silly as going from drive to reverse suddenly takes that little step further because it's electronic and because it has to engage, and you need to make sure that you press the little throttle properly or selected it, for reverse or drive. I don't know, it just throws me off the whole thing. And I don't like the design, the way that it looks. It's too integrated into where the HVAC system is. It almost gets lost down there, that it looks like it's part of the heating and cooling system when it's not at all. Yeah, I don't know, just give me back a shifter. It's not, I'm not that excited about it. Not at all. So inside the 2020 GMC Terrain Elevation, like I was saying in the drive, I don't find it so much different from the Trailblazer. In fact, I actually find the interior of the Trailblazer a lot nicer. This is kind of like a truncated version. Like, even the shelf that's here, the one in the Trailblazer, is bigger. It's longer. It can hold 2 phones instead of just one slot here. I find this understack looks nicer in the Trailblazer. The red stitching, because it was the RS, really stands out on the dash of the Trailblazer versus this GMC Terrain, which is more expensive. I just don't find the interior is anything to write home about. There's no charge pad. I have 3 USB ports up here, but I don't have anywhere to place my phone. My phone doesn't fit in this little nifty space here. However, it does fit down here on the side, which is nice. It also fits up here. But yeah, it just doesn't do a whole lot for me in here. I think it should feel classier, higher end than it does based on the price difference between the two. Space-wise, yes, great. Sun has lots of room. I have lots of room, lots of headroom, lots of visibility. It's comfortable. It's plushy. But other than that, I'm not totally blown away with it. And if I look at the price differences, I would walk away with the Trailblazer over the Terrain at this point. There's no denying that the exterior of the 2020 GMC Terrain is really masculine and mature. It is quite nice to look at. The lines are nice and smooth. It's nothing too radical. There's no jarring lines or jutting shoulder edges. It's just pleasant. I don't think it's necessarily one of the standout crossovers on the road today, especially in this kind of neutral gray color with the blacked out roof. This is a very subdued look for this crossover. But it is nice. Like I said, it's very sophisticated if this is your style. I like that floating roofline look, the little blacked out window in the back that makes it look like the roof isn't attached to the body. It's a pretty common style across the industry right now, but it suits the Terrain and it looks nice. This isn't a squared off SUV like we're used to seeing. It's very, it's a nice smooth silhouette, really nice smooth lines. It's not super almond bulbousy shaped like they were a couple of years ago, which is nice. But it definitely has smoother lines than you'd expect from some of the American SUVs, again, which is really nice. Not too much chrome, as I said, on the Trailblazer, which is also very good. The black accents really help. The blacked out Terrain and all-wheel drive symbol, I like that a lot. The GMC, the red lettering stands out really nicely against that black front grille. And overall, just a nice exterior-looking vehicle. All right, guys, well, that's been it for me this week and the GMC Terrain Elevation. Thanks so much for checking it out. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to hit me up at Miss Miranda L on Twitter or Instagram, and Miranda Lightstone on Facebook.com. Hope to see you guys back next week.